Hello from Schwann Cadillac, and here is a live walk around of one of our first 2021 fifth generation Cadillac Escalade. This is, of course, the Sport package. We are still waiting for a couple options on this one, so it is waiting on the Onyx package, which what that Onyx package gives you is it does have a fancier, grayed out, blacked out kind of rim, as well as a monochromatic badge. So just those couple things will be changed as soon as those components get in. So this has just been delivered off of the pickup, so there are still a couple things waiting for it, but we can give you an overall view, of course, of this beautiful, as I said, fifth generation Escalade. So you'll notice from the old generation, you have switched to, they went away from the horizontal jeweled, or the vertical jeweled head beams to now more of these LED, super bright, super clear, as well as you will notice that front blade there is now your entire blinker as well, so more visibility there, and that is also your daytime running light, so that will stay on when the vehicle is running. We can wander around the side here to get a better side profile of it. The Sport model, of course, is starting in, 2018 with the XT4. Cadillac adopted a Y trim level strategy. So you have your luxury, and then you can either go to a premium luxury, or you can go same equipment inside, just a different exterior look, to the Sport. Sport, of course, is that awesome looking black mesh grille up front with black accents down below. So you'll see these are all blacked out versus a more Galvano look in a premium luxury. You will also notice on the side here, the door or the mirror caps are body colored with that nice black accent down below there, as well as round the window is black trim, your roof rail's black, and then you get these really nice black power running boards with, let's see if we can get them. They're not going to turn on now because it's daylight out, but they do have LED lights that run the entire length of that as well. Something really nice about the Escalade compared to all of the other SUVs in Cadillac's lineup for the Sport model, you can get illuminated door handles in the Escalade, where in other generations, if you go the Sport, or I shouldn't say generations, in other models, the Sport does not have the ability to have that LED light in there. Another neat thing they did with the new Escalade is instead of the handle all actuating, it is just a sensor right in the side, which will automatically then unlock the vehicle, so you don't have to press the button like in the previous generation. It'll automatically detect that there is a key fob and unlock and open that up for you. As you can see with the door open, it did drop down those running boards for us. And then this will also have illuminated sill plates as well. So those are not installed yet, but it will. We'll jump over to the driver's side because that you get a little bit more of that impressive OLED screen up front. But before we jump to that, we can take a peek in the back seat as well as some of the improvements of the fifth generation over the fourth generation. So first of all, the thing that will probably stand out to you the most are these large, extremely large, actually class or industry leading 12.6-inch displays back here. They do have two HDMI ports down below there, so you can plug in Fire Sticks or game consoles or whatever you want, stream that through the built-in Wi-Fi hotspot in the vehicle, and you could be streaming Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever your streaming service is of choice on longer road trips. The other really nice thing is this second row now does slide forward and back, so you can see the first lever. It's a little hard to do one-handed, so I can't do it with the camera, but I could grab that front lever. That second row seat will slide forward and backwards, depending on if I want more legroom for the third row passengers or second row. The front passenger seat is a ways back, so don't let that misguide you for the legroom. There is plenty of legroom in these, as well as you can recline just like the previous generation, as well as inside there's a button, or so right inside the door there's a button to lay down that seat, or if I grab this lever here, you'll notice the whole seat actually drops down, and they did that so you still get plenty of padding. You sit it up a little bit higher, you get a little bit better visibility, but at the same time, When you want it to fold flat, it does. But one of, if not the best innovation for third row legroom is what they went to in this generation, a independent rear suspension. So no longer is it a solid axle going all the way through, which allowed them to lower the floorboard, which allows for more storage, easier access, as well as a lot more, amazingly more comfortable ride than the previous generation. But for the third row passengers, you can see the amount of legroom that is now available for that third row. You can actually have a floor well, as well as the seats. If you slide them up a ways, you can ride as an adult back there pretty comfy. While we're back here, I'll also point out, let's see if I have enough light to do so. It doesn't look, oh, there we go, we focused. You'll see right behind the light there is a speaker grill or a microphone grill, and we'll cover that in a little bit later because this does have the upgraded 36 speaker AKG system in it, in which that has a couple fancy features. Easiest way to tell if it has it or not is if it has the headliner speakers up here. But the really neat thing about that is they paired up with AKG, which is known for their studio grade audio. That's what a lot of the recording studios are using to record the music and play back. So you're getting the closest thing to what the sound designers want you to hear. You'll also notice, we'll take this as a point here, all the different Cadillac shields everywhere, as well as that will illuminate at night when you're walking up. It'll greet you, as well as it will do a little bit of a light show up front. And then the taillights actually do kind of like, they call it a firework display, where they will basically run up in display there too. So really neat and nice to look at. Once again, a couple more features of the Sport trim. You got the black exhaust as well as more of that gloss black look there. And a little neat thing about how you open up the rear, no longer is there a button. You just tap on the crest and there she will open up. Once again, that crest will be a monochromatic look thanks to the Onyx package. We just haven't received those emblems in to replace yet. The other thing you will notice is there is quite a bit more storage in the Escalade, the short one, than the previous generation. Before, it was pretty much right about where you see that cut down. That was pretty much the end. So it was the seat and then the door. But they have added quite a bit more storage by being about 8 inches longer than the previous generation. You do also have a standard plug back here, as well as still the powered third row and release for the second row. Underneath here is just a little bit more storage for, tow ropes or different emergency equipment, mostly to keep this a flat load height. You'll also notice there is a Cadillac crest shining down on the floor. That is for your kick activation, showing you where you want to kick. No longer do you have to guess. And then you'll just notice as you look around these little tiny details of how things seem to line up. So you got this nice laser etching, as well as if you look down here, there is another Cadillac shield again. Jumping up to the driver, well, first we can point this out, like the previous generation, you do still have your blind spot monitoring, a better surround vision camera system. But jumping in here is where the new Escalade really starts to shine. So we won't see it right now. We'll probably hit the button and show it up, but you do have a little lighting scenario, so you can customize the light there for a nice ambiance. Jumping up here, you have a total of 38 inches of OLED screen. As you can see, the nice little greeting of the display there. Nice thing about OLED technology is that, I guess what it stands for is organically light-emitting diodes. So each pixel is able to turn on and off by itself. So when it is black like it is now, there is no pixels on whatsoever. But the moment I go ahead and we'll just power on to auxiliary mode, you'll notice you won't have any of the graying out of like a backlight, because those pixels are the only ones on. It does have 3 different sections. We'll go ahead and get this powered all the way on for auxiliary mode so we can take a look. Well, actually, since I'm the only one here, we'll turn it on for a little bit so we can go over everything. But you have a touch screen over the top over here, which is your control panel, jumping between your trip, your different distances. You'll also notice that if I tap here, that will change to which gauge setting is set up here, because you will notice we can go to just your standard gauges, which is what most people are used to seeing, as well as the map one, which right now I haven't accepted the terms and conditions on navigation, so it's not going to pop up. But say you were doing navigation and you wanted to see the map, it would actually give you a map overlay right down below where you're looking instead of having to look over to the side. The relay here we'll go ahead and see, and we can get augmented reality started. So there is actually a camera behind the rear view mirror. There's actually two of them now. So in the past there was one that was just watching the lanes of the road, and now you have a second one that is actually going to be looking at what's ahead of you. And the reason it's augmented reality is if you have the navigation going or a destination, it can actually overlay arrows or different things onto the screen to give you information of which lane you have to be in, or different information. Night vision isn't going to work for us right now since it is daylight, but it does have an infrared sensor on the front bumper that will actually sense heat signatures to give you warnings if there's a pedestrian or animal ahead of you. And another neat thing here is if you're a family of parents, or if you are a family with kids, you do have this nice little icon here which will show you which seats have their seatbelts buckled. So if you have people all the way in the third row, you can tell if they're lying to you now if they say they're buckled up or not. This is not a touchscreen, but plenty of customization here, and a really nice, beautiful, high contrast with, once again, because of that OLED. It is a higher pixel density than a 4K television, so super clear there. We'll go ahead here and skip through those menus. You'll notice that this is all a giant touchscreen where you can customize which ones are here for your quick launch commands, as well as down below here, similar to our X series of crossovers, you do have a rotary controller with jog function, so you can jump across between the different menus there. There's a lot I could spend time on this display, but we will take this moment to kind of quick jump on the camera system. So if I jog over to the home screen and then to the side here, and you'll notice since I'm using the rotary controller, it goes to kind of a circle carousel area, or carousel approach. We'll go one more over and we can click on the cameras here, and you will see you have your normal backup as well as front is your surround vision camera over here. You can do wide angle, overhead, side views, and then you have some of these other ones which are kind of neat here. So this one is the one I like to show off. You can actually, with that surround vision, it's gotten so sophisticated where you can actually go through and click from which direction you want to see and do a quick, basically walk around your vehicle to make sure something's not sitting in a blind spot that's not showing up on your mirror just by inside pushing the button. So pretty neat with that. But I did mention we are going to talk about the 36-inch AKG system as well as what that microphone in the back is. As you'll notice right here, it is a little icon that looks like an ear with sound. It does have enhanced conversation mode, or I blanked what exactly it's called here, but you basically have microphones up front here, which would be for your Bluetooth phone and making phone calls for both driver and passenger. And then they do have one in the third row, so if you have passengers way back there, you can actually hit this, and it will use that microphone back there, send their voice up front. You can kind of hear it a little bit, since I'm the only one in here, and actually send it through the speakers in the front. So vice versa, it'll go back and forth, so you guys can talk without having to shout, and you can hear hear the conversation. So, of course, adaptive cruise control, heated steering wheel. This one does not have Super Cruise, but you can get that on the new Escalade. But before I realize this is already a 15-minute long video, and I could go much longer, but this is just a first look before it's gone into the shop to get those final things in and a quick overview. So feel free to give us a call if you have any questions on this one or any one of our Cadillac models. We'd be happy to help any way we can, and stay tuned for more videos.